Hello, welcome back. Thank you for joining me here. We're continuing our journey here through the workbook for students. And once again, let me just say that you don't have to be doing the workbook in order to benefit a lot, quite a lot, from this conversation and any and all conversations that take place right here on this channel. If you happen to be doing it, great. But you don't even have to be a student of A Course in Miracles in order to benefit tremendously. So, that being said, I invite you to kindly stick around because, as always, there is a reason you're here. There is a reason this material found you. I mean, we like to say, okay, well, I found it. Actually, it finds us, doesn't it? Out of all of the channels on YouTube, much less all of the platforms on the entire internet, I mean, that is a vast amount of stuff. Here you are. Say no more. All right. Lesson 5 in the workbook for students. I'm never upset for the reasons I think. How about that? All right. Let's break this one down, shall we? I'm never upset for the reasons I think. Here in the world, we think we're upset at somebody for something that they did to us or to somebody else. But of course, that's the same thing. We think that people have wronged us or that their conduct or their behavior or their tweets are malignant and destructive. We don't agree with them. We're angry at people. We're upset and frustrated with people. We're jealous of people. We're anxious about life in general. We're anxious about finances, maybe it is. Maybe you're anxious about your job or your career or a physical ailment that you may be going through. Maybe a disease. I don't know. Any number of things. We're never upset for the reasons that we think we are. So as we go forward and practice the day's idea, we're simply instructed to use anything at all that's causing us pain. So it doesn't have to rise to the level of acute pain. It can be something as seemingly simple and basic as a mild annoyance at a cloud that just obscured the sun or something, or the fact that your knee itches and it's annoying to you. Anything actually, anything that is not 100% and completely joyous. And the central idea here is that it makes no difference what outward form that may take, from the itching knee to a dread disease, like cancer, or the cloud temporarily blotting out the sun until the cloud goes away, or a fascist regime, or something. I don't know, right? It does not make any difference the outward form. Anything will do. So as we go forward, we're encouraged here to get specific in practicing lesson 5 of the workbook. Very specific. I'm not upset at Donald Trump for the reasons that I think. Hmm, how about that one? Yeah. I'm not upset at the government for the reasons that I think. I'm not annoyed by my itchy knee for the reasons that I think. I'm not dismayed at the size of my electric bill for the reasons that I think, and so on and so forth. Anything that you may consider painful or annoying. Part of the lesson here is it's all the same. If it's not wholly, 100%, totally, and completely joyous, as in beyond exuberance. It is an opportunity to forgive, and it is an opportunity to use that as part of this practice. In anger, frustration, rage, blame, fear, jealousy, deep anxiety, depression, and worry are all the same. You may protest, and it's quite common that, oh no, no, they're very different. No, no, they're not. They're the same. And this lesson, one of the early lessons in the workbook for students, aims to get us attenuated to this idea, to get used to the idea that all illusions are illusions. They're all illusions. Huh. They're all equally illusory. One is not more illusory than any other. One is not bigger and brighter and shinier than another, though it may very well appear so. It's not the case. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. Chapter 1, the opening sentence. In fact, it's chapter 1, section 1, paragraph 1, sentence 1. It's how the text of A Course in Miracles begins. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. They're all alike. All of them. All illusions are equally alike. Therefore, it makes no difference what you experience as you practice this workbook idea. Anything that's not wholly joyous will do. Now, we're invited, and very specifically and very importantly invited, not to discriminate, not to hold out certain forms of annoyance, like a fascist regime, for example, right? For our own personal disdain, rage, blame, fear, loathing, and hatred. Okay, well, we could go on, but do you get what I'm saying? We want to keep certain forms of hatred, certain forms of annoyance, our own special little secret hates, our hidden hates, as the Course puts it. We want to keep these to ourselves. So we're very tempted when we're doing a workbook idea, especially one of these early workbook ideas that start to introduce the thought system of the Holy Spirit for us here. We're tempted to say, yeah, I'm not going to use that idea. Now, if it occurs to you, if you think about it, if it comes into your awareness, if you become aware of it, use it. It is equally suitable as the passing cloud, or a dread disease, or the itchy knee, or the fact that the dog may have gone to the bathroom on the carpet yesterday afternoon. Whatever it is. Anything not wholly joyous will do for the application of the day's idea. So let's resist the temptation to keep some forms of upset and let the others go. Our forgiveness is either total, or it is not at all. We run into this theme throughout A Course in Miracles, and it is so, so very important. We can't keep certain forms of disdain for our ex, for our government, for something, or someone, or some event. Doesn't have to be a person, anything not wholly joyous. We can't keep some forms of hatred and let the others go. In other words, we can't forgive 99.9% of the people and situations and events in this wild world and keep that little 1% for ourselves. That is not total. Now, this is a tough one for the ego to stomach. In fact, expect it to rebel if it's not doing it already. Expect resistance on the path. Always. Oh, why? And how would it be otherwise? It is the ego that resists. That is always the case. We're learning as gradually as we need the lessons to be to see otherwise. One of the important foundational pieces of the workbook for students here in A Course in Miracles is that there are two parts. Our perception is upside down and backwards. In other words, we don't see things as they are. The first part of the workbook for students is to help us set aside our faulty perception. And then the second part replaces it with true perception, with the thought system of the Holy Spirit. It's only when we learn to see things as they really are that awakening can actually occur. It is a prerequisite to learn to see things just as they are. At that point, when we've done that, truth dawns of itself. That's awakening, enlightenment, realization, liberation, whatever you wish to call it. It's known by many names here in the world, including what seems to be a distant event. Right? Oh, yeah, for sure. Who knows when awakening will come? But we can rest assured that as long as we see ourselves as an individual ego, it's not going to happen. Now, we may get glimpses, and many of you may have had some glimpses, some, you know, I guess, experiences, or whatever you may call it. Truth, i.e., God, is beyond words, beyond all of our concepts. We're using words here, we're using a visual image here to point to it. But it's beyond all of our concepts. It can and will, oh yes, will be experienced. As you well know, no matter what your spiritual or religious background is, all spirituality is about experience. All of it. So it's important not to judge the suitability of our thoughts for this exercise. And it's a theme throughout these early exercises of the workbook for students, because as we've seen right here on this conversation, it's a theme in A Course in Miracles. Truth is true. Yeah, how about that, right? Truth is true, illusions are illusions. One is not more illusory than another. They're all illusions. And we're invited, again, as gradually as the process may appear to us, to set them to the side. Okay. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. If you have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and do that. This is the prompt over here in the corner of your screen. Click this little icon. Thank you to those of you who have recently joined us. Thank you for doing that. This is an international community, and questions are always welcome too, by the way. Questions or comments, even if you just wish to pop in here and say hello, I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you all very soon.